Hey everyone, thanks for joining the podcast. In this podcast here, I got a few things that we're going to review, such as signs of a cooling housing market, cost increases, cancellations, and price listing cuts throughout the nation. I'll get into a couple specific examples of data points over each topic that I just said. And all the topic points will have to do with week over week changes, month over month changes, and year over year changes. So, as we get into it, everybody knows that over the last 12 to 24 months, real estate prices they have gone up a lot by a very large amount, especially in certain areas of the country. And obviously, inflation and trends with inflation don't help that at all. Sometimes people think that home builders and sellers are just jacking up the prices, and to a certain degree, people are right about that there. But let's take a look at home builders, because home builders account for a very large amount of all the new properties and homes that are sold throughout the course of the year. At any given point, if we just take right now, for example, new home builders have 2 million permits pulled for future homes being built in this country. And that'll be built over the next 12 months. So at any given time, you have 2 million new homes entering the market over a 12-month period by new home builders, who, again, people think are responsible for jacking up the prices. And again, to a certain point, people are right in that regards right there. But if we look at cost increases, and if we look at certain things from the perspective of a home builder who's creating and buying the land and buying the raw materials to build those homes, if we look at ready mix for concrete, that's up 11% over the last 12 months. Gypsum products used in drywall is up 20% year over year. Steel prices have doubled since January 2021. Freight transportation costs are up 40% since May 2020. Water transportation costs are up 52% since May 2020. Asphalt and tar are both up 22% year over year. So all of your major goods that go into the purchase, that go into the construction process of a new home are up that much since either year over year or since 2020. The only thing that I was able to actually come across that was down, in which it's a major product going into a new home, that was lumber future prices. As of July 31st, lumber future prices are at $526, which is down from $1,600 just a few months ago. So that's the first thing I've seen where I'm like, hey, obviously they build houses mostly out of wood. And one of those main core products is starting to drop and come down a lot. We spoke a little bit about that on the last podcast, and it's a good sign that certain core raw materials that go into the building of a new home, one of them is starting to cool down and come down. But when you look at cost increases over the last 12 to 24 months, a lot of these builders, the things that they have to purchase in bulk, the things that they really have to go out and get, those prices have all come up. So it's been a lot harder on builders to turn around and build homes and then discount them at, like, let's take your average home in Jacksonville, Florida, 3-4 years ago. New home, 3-4 bedrooms. You could probably get it for about $275,000 from Leonard or D.R. Horton. Right now, $400,000, $500,000, in some cases $550,000, $600,000. A lot of that is just due to raw material prices continuing to come up. And as those prices come down, as the Fed keeps increasing interest rates, that's going to be a time where a lot of buyers are going to be very interested in coming back in. So when we take a viewpoint of that right there, and we look at the cost to building homes and what builders have been going through right there, other signs of a cooling market, cancellations. If we take a look at cancellations, this is something that I would consider to be a leading indicator of a market that has gone up really high over the last 12, 24 months. The market's gone up a lot in all areas of the country, not just people leaving certain areas of the country to get to areas in the South, the Southwest, the Midwest, which were your pandemic buying hotspots. If we look at cancellations, that's something that I consider to be a very leading indicator in a market throughout the U.S. The whole U.S. had become a rallying market, a market that's gone up no matter where you were. When we look at cancellations, if we look at June, for the month of June, cancellations were up across the nation. Specifically, Sacramento, 20%, San Diego, 20%, Atlanta, 22%, Tampa, 24%, Phoenix, 24%, Orlando, 24%, Jacksonville, 25%, and Las Vegas, Nevada, 27%. So what that means is, in all of those cities, if somebody went under contract, there's a 25% chance in that city that someone is going to cancel on that home. And that's real data. That's not a what if data. That's the MLS saying that of all, we'll use Jacksonville as an example. In June, 25% of mortgage contracts that were created end up being canceled by the end of the sale. These numbers are starkly up when compared to 12 months ago. A lot of reasons why is because people are starting to sense that homes are overvalued and prices are going to fall. So if you're somebody that bought a home, let's say you're somebody that bought a new construction home 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago when demand was super high and supply was super low. There's a chance you bought a home that was under construction that got delayed a few times, or you bought a dirt lot having a home built there. All of a sudden, months have gone by and you're getting much closer to the end of the home buying purchase and you're getting ready to move in. And you realize that home you bought for $500,000 or $400,000 might only be worth now $475,000 or $360,000 because the market's cooling a little bit and people are realizing those homes might not be worth as much. A lot of people are backing out and canceling right now. And that's why we see a city like Jacksonville, Florida with 25% cancellations. Las Vegas in June had 27% of people cancel. You're getting into a interest rate environment where a lot of people were getting interest rates in the 2%, the 3%, the 4%. Now a lot of people are getting interest rates in the 5s, the 6s, some people in the 7s. And because of this, your monthly cost changes by a few $100s. And a lot of times people get close to the buying process and they're like, damn, I really can't afford $1,800, $1,900, $2,000, $3,000 a month, whatever it is that they were going to get, and they decide to cancel. So we're seeing nationwide a spike in cancellations, which is, to a certain degree, it's not always a bad thing for buyers. It's a bad thing for sellers, but it's not always a bad thing for buyers, because if you're someone that's buying in the market and there's a lot of cancellations going on, that means there's going to be price reductions that'll be going on throughout the market. We have a gentleman who was one of our renters in Jacksonville, Florida. He was a football player on the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was renting one of our units for about $3,400 a month, townhome in the St. John's Town Center. Real nice spot, 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2-story in the Tidal Point community. And he recently decided to build a home in Jax Beach for $1.25 million, a Toll Brother home. And it was a 7, 8, 9 month wait time. I think by the time it was all said and done, he was getting ready to move in. It turned into a 12-month wait time because builders, their supply chain so backed up trying to get all the raw materials in. And all of a sudden, that home that he was buying for $1.25 million, he ended up canceling on that home because as his NFL finance people told him, they're like, dude, your home's probably not worth 1.25 right now. It's probably worth less than that, maybe $800,000, $900,000, $1 million, possibly. So he ended up canceling on that home. He lost $50,000 that he had put down on that home that he can't get back. But the way he's viewing it is, he's like, I'm really losing $250,000, $300,000, $350,000 on this home, so I might as well just let that 50 grand go and take my overall loss and just move on. Which, if the market dips, and if it dips for a prolonged period of time, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, I mean, the guy made the right decision. Now, if the market rallies and goes right back up, he didn't make the right decision. But for him and his point of view, he made the right decision right there for himself. So right now, in June, we have 457,000 new family homes available for sale nationwide. That's a inventory increase over a month-over-month basis. However, according to Realtor.com, we still have a nationwide shortage of homes available for sale. If you rewind over the last 12 years, 14 years, at numerous points over this time, we had over 1.4 million homes available for sale at certain periods of time. So although inventory is going up, when you look at it at a long-term perspective, we still have a supply shortage right now. We're just seeing inventory go up over the short term, which again is a good thing for people coming into the market who want to buy or who are thinking about buying. We're seeing more and more indicators that the market's getting ready to recorrect itself. And if we want to look at a little bit more data, Redfin reports on a nationwide scale, there's listing price cuts going on all over the place. Austin, Texas, 48% of all homes available for sale in Austin, Texas, 48% of those homes have undergone a price listing cut. Las Vegas, 44% of all homes listed for sale have gone on a price listing cut. Chicago, 15%, Boise, Idaho, 69%, Anaheim, 30%, San Jose, 32%, Tampa Bay, Florida, 52% of all homes listed for sale have gone on price listing cuts. Where just a few months ago, you had bidding wars going on. Right now, you got listing price cuts that are going on. And it's different geographically. If you look at certain cities like Chicago, Newark, New Jersey, there's cities like them that were not pandemic buying hotspots, whose listing cuts are only on 15-20% of the homes. When you go to your pandemic buying hotspots, the states that people were trying to get to during the pandemic, those spots, Boise, Idaho, like I said, 69%, Tampa, 52%, Las Vegas, 44%, Austin, 48%. A lot of those reasons is a lot of investors were buying up area in there. People living out of state were buying up homes in there. People were trying to get there. Virtual workers were going there. And now what we're seeing is a lot of sellers in those areas are trying to sell, but the demand just isn't there. And in any of those given neighborhoods, you could have anywhere from 7 to 8 homes available for sale. So people are dropping their prices to try to sell while the market's still at an all-time high. This is something I've taken advantage of. I kind of seen a little of the dip come, and I've released a few of my properties to get out while we're still up here. So again, more signs of a market cooling or going into a possible correction. Again, other spots, Milwaukee, St. Louis, They haven't seen quite the amount of listing cuts that other cities have seen, but they've still seen 20% listing cuts in those cities there. Another thing that I'm looking at very closely, if we look at leading indicators, leading market indicators towards signs of future things to come, mortgage applications. Mortgage applications have fallen to a 6-year low, and this upcoming Wednesday, on the 10th, we're going to release, not me, obviously, the nation is going to release their mortgage application report. So I'm very curious to see on Wednesday what that looks like. I'd expect to see a decline again in mortgage applications, but in June, we fell to a 6-year low on mortgage applications. Again, not a bad sign for people looking to come into the market, people looking to buy, showing signs of a dip. However, if you're a seller right now, that means you're going to have to be a little bit more patient, as where it might used to have taken you just a couple days or weeks to sell your home, it could take a little bit longer to sell right now. That's a lot of the data that I had to put out right now in regards to a cooling market. Really reviewing, why did cost go up? Obviously, supply and demand always a huge factor, but home builders getting raw materials has become, over the last 2 years, a lot more expensive for them to go out and purchase raw materials. I expect with interest rates going up, that if the interest rates keep going up, raw material prices are going to continue coming down. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of that in the lumber prices. But reasons why it's cost builders more to build their homes. Cancellation rates up across the country, something that's very important to keep our eyes on going forward. Talking about inventory of homes at their highest levels over the trailing couple of months. Not over the trailing 12 or 24 months, but over the trailing couple of months. Inventory levels have hit their highest levels. And then getting into nationwide price cuts. Very interesting to see how those COVID-19 buying hotspots, how they've gone up a lot in cancellations. And your areas where people were trying to get out of during COVID-19, while they're experiencing cancellations and price cuts, it's at a much lower level than in certain areas. And then again, mortgage applications. Interesting to see the drop off there. That's it. That's everything that I got for you guys on this episode of the podcast. I got another one coming out real soon, which talks about some more data, some more leading indicators. So like and subscribe if you like what I put out, and if there's anything more specific that you would like me to review in that regards, let me know right there.